tell us a little bit about the VRT research that you're doing right now.
So the VRT research, we're actually in our second year this year. We did last year, we started out with developing a fairly simple approach, and we did a literature review on what's all out there for the different studies that look at return on investment for variable rate technology. And then we worked and used all that information and developed a simple high-level model that really what we want to go towards is the ability for farmers to put their personal farm information in a model and say at what level of variability on my farm does it pay for me to actually implement variable rate technology.
And what have you found out so far over the 2 years?
So what we have found out so far is that yes, there is a lot of variability on fields, and if you take a very simple approach and specifically with the fertilizer cost that is out there this year at this point in time, even with earlier fertilizer costs from earlier this year, we see that if you can save about 10-11% of your fertilizer cost on about a third of your acres, it might pay if your cost is not more than $4.50 an acre.
Incredible sort of thing. So, how long are you doing this study for?
So this is going to be like we are in our second year. We still have a little bit of work to do. I envision this could take a couple more years to refine it and build on it, because there's quite a few different components that need to be more clarified, and specifically the environmental component on it. But the simple cost of production and yield, we hope to get a pretty good handle on that this year, if not by the end of next year. But the environmental, there's a lot to be learned on that, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to actually, even for the industry, to make it practical and applicable.
How timely is this research given the input costs right now?
So I think it's very timely, not just because of the high input costs, but I think it's also very timely because of the regulations and what we heard from the government of Canada, right, with the reduction of fertilizer input. 30% reduction on fertilizer input is going to be either mandated, or they would like to have that as a result. So I think variable rate technology, the application of fertilizer, is definitely a key element in order for the industry to get there.
Excellent. And I guess at this point, are you looking for producers to take part, or is there any way producers can be a part of this?
So at this point, we're very blessed here at Olds College that we have access to about 3,600 acres. So we're making use of as much acres as we can here within Olds College. When the time comes to actually test it out, which probably will be a couple more years, we're definitely will be looking for some producers to say, hey, can we run it on your farm and see what variability we see on your fields, and what investment and cost you're looking at in order to make this implemented, and does it then pay for you? So we definitely, it will happen, but we're not there yet.
You were talking about data that would need to be put in by the producers for their particular farm. What particular data would they need to put in?
So the information that will be needed is to understand what the variability is of your farm, right? So any kind of implementation of variable rate technology means that the producer needs to have an understanding of how variable his field is, or her field. So whether that comes from data that the producer already has on the farm through yield monitoring or other devices, or if they don't have any data on the farm because they're just looking at evaluating, should I go in and implement this? There are ways to do that, and you could use satellite imagery to get NDVI imaging, and we can go back historically, and that's freely available. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a little bit of time to process that data, but that can be used to get an estimate of the variability of each of the different fields of the farm.
Anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
I think for variable rate by itself, I think there's a lot more than just fertilizer. So we're also talking about seed application. We talk about chemical application, right? We're talking about maybe phase application of fertilizer as well. So we're just scratching the surface of what we've done here. So I think we got a lot to learn, and I think we're on the right track.